I'm making this video to follow up on a previous video that I made last week. To make a long story short, I didn't keep up with my real estate books for about 6 months. So then one day I opened up my checkings account and then I realized I only have $600 left. When I sat down to go over my books, I realized that all the payments from the tenants were all fragmented. All my expenses were all over the place, my receipts were all over the place, and I realized that the tenants owe me money. However, I can't go claim money when I don't even know how much they owe me. And then I realized I was in trouble. My name is Eddie Cespedes. This is my $1 Million Diary, where I document my journey to $1 million in net worth. To start off, I have been able to piece all my books together. So for the 3 rental properties that I have, I was able to piece together all the expenses and find out how much each tenant owes me. And so in total, all my tenants owe me about $4,100, which is crazy. It's a lot of money. How did I miss it? No idea. So just the quick update that I really just want to give is that now that I know how much each tenant owes me, I have to go ahead and try to claim some of that money. A few other things that I found out as I was going through the real estate books is that, well, the main issue is that the property that I was renting over in the Apopka area that I rent by the rooms is operating currently at a negative 65% profit margin. I really should have sold this property a long time ago. The issue was 2 years ago when I was really contemplating on selling the property because I was down to the last $1,200 in my bank account after I purchased a condo. The property was gonna cost me too much to sell. Like if I sold it, whatever I got out of it, I was still gonna be under, and then I was gonna owe the difference. In other words, I couldn't afford to sell the property, which is a terrible condition or a terrible situation to be in. But right now the situation is a little bit better, and if I really look at the numbers, I could have had it probably since last year an extra $20,000 in my savings, or at least an extra $20,000 invested had I not had this property. I did consider selling it last year, and I think I had spoke to somebody from Open Door, I believe it was Open Door, around March of last year, and they gave me an offer. That offer was gonna put me under, but I think I would have been able to negotiate the guy to sell it, to buy the property from me at a higher price to such a point where I would be able to walk out basically not owing anything or owing very little. I did tell the guy that I was 50-50. I was on the fence whether I wanted to sell it or I wanted to keep it. I did tell him to call me back during the summer because there was a few other things that I wanted to do to the property, and I believe that if I did those things to the property and it started to perform, then I would be all right. Now, I did end up doing those things, and a lot of the water intrusion got better. I haven't had any water intrusion issues ever since I ended up fixing those doors. So apparently the doors were off a little bit, like they weren't really, the contractor I had put them in didn't really measure it and square them, so water was still getting in through certain areas. There was a little bit of light that you could see that would come through, and then whenever it would rain really heavy, the water would go in through where that light was. So that issue is fixed. I haven't had any complaints about the tenants in regards to that water issue. The second thing that I ended up wanting to do was I wanted to try to fix that roof. And now that I've been able to fix the roof, even though it's cost me so much money, all of these repairs, I want the property to try to perform. So I think I had written down somewhere that for 2026, it was gonna be the last year that I try to repair this property. Right now, I'm still actively working on those final repairs. Once I finish these repairs, 2027 will be the determining year that tells me if I want to sell the property or if I want to keep it. That means I don't even need it to break even. I don't need it to make a profit, whatever the case is. All I need is for the property to not be operating at a negative 65% profit. I'll need it, if it's a small profit, I can live with that. Or if it's a small negative, then I can live with that. Maybe a couple $100 a month, I'm all right with it. Like the condo right now also ended up getting reassessed for taxes, and now I think I'm negative $233 every month. That's all right. I don't think it's going to be that much after. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. It's negative 322. I think it's all right because the issue is just that the guy that was doing my loan really screwed this up. But they ended up assessing the property and the mortgage and all of that based on the previous owner's taxes, which were $300. And there's no way in hell I was going to pay him $300. I think me and my realtor tried to tell the lender, like, you need to do this right, and he was sure that, oh no, this is fine. Well, the county reappraised it, and then the taxes went up to like $2,000 or $2,200 or something like that. So that it created a huge escrow shortage. Whenever that escrow shortage is covered, I'll probably be under maybe $100 a month, if that. And then if I raise rents, it'll be probably maybe $50 under, or I could, long story short, I can pretty much break even in this property within the next couple of years, so it's not an issue. It's not going to break me. But the property, or the condo, but the property that is really killing me right now, which is the main issue that I got to solve, I'm going to give myself 2027 or 2026, this year will be the year where everything has to be, all the repairs have to be done. And then 2027, I kind of just want to sit back and let everything play. And then I can observe, I can see how it's performing. And then depending on that, I will decide if I sell it or not. The reason I've been holding on to that property so much is because I really see potential in it. And now that, so I have this idea where I figured if I understood this property, since nobody in that area really understands those properties, I figured if I crack this puzzle, I can go ahead and then start buying up somewhere down the line, start buying up a lot of the units in that area, because I really like those townhomes. And in a perfect future, I would own that entire neighborhood. But anyways, maybe one day. So right now, that's all I wanted to update on. I just wanted to say that I finished the books. I found out how much my tenants owe me. It's a little over $4,100. I need to start collecting. I did send text messages out last week, and they were just really generic because I couldn't ask them how much they owed me, because then they could tell me anything. But it was just basically asking if they could at least get me a month's worth relatively quick, and they all gave me dates. So one of the tenants is actually pretty good about paying me, even though sometimes he's late. He always ends up living by his word, and then he ends up giving me his money. So I like him. He might be a little bit of a pain in certain areas, but I really like him. The other two, they just really fell behind, and now I'm just waiting to see what happens. So yeah, so like, oh, one thing that did happen. So because I was telling my wife about all of this, and then she just hit me last week with that I should let her run my books for me. And that's actually not that bad of an idea. So I've been thinking about ways that I can make it work operationally, and I'm gonna consider it. I might do it. I really might do it, because I think it would really take a huge stressor off my plate, even though this stress only happens like once every 3 months. And again, the fact that I'm saying once every 3 months pretty much shows that I'm really not good at doing the bookkeeping for real estate. I think the reason why I'm so bad at doing it, because honestly, I'm bad at doing the books in my personal business too, but I use QuickBooks, so I just pay for the software, and QuickBooks makes it very easy. So by the way, if you're starting a business, invest in QuickBooks. It makes life a whole lot easier, especially with the whole AI tools and all that stuff that they have in there. You can pretty much just ask it anything about your business, and the AI tells you right there. The only problem that I have is that the AI is a little bit slow in responding. But get a QuickBook, and it'll make life a whole lot easier. However, I don't want to keep paying for multiple QuickBook accounts, even though, I mean, you could probably argue if this is causing me this much issues, that I probably should. But I actually really like the spreadsheet that I have for my real estate books. I love how it functions. So I was trying to work on an app or a little software tool that I could have on my phone, where I could just jot everything down like in real time, and then whenever I sit in front of my laptop, I could just open up the spreadsheet and then just start typing in copy pasting everything from my phone into the spreadsheet. But if she's willing to help, I think that would be a huge help. And honestly, it might actually, hopefully, I hope it would open her eyes more to all the other stuff that I do and the headaches that I have to deal with. Maybe appreciate some of the stuff that I do a little bit more. But anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. Until next time.